Καλημέρα. Σας καλωσορίζουμε στην συνέντευξη τύπου του Φεστιβάλ Κινηματογράφου Θεσσαλονίκης. Στην πραγματικότητα ροκανίζω το χρόνο μέχρι να βάλουν οι κάμερες, να θέσουν οι κάμερες στα τρυπόδια τους. Είμαστε πολύ χαρούμενοι. Χτες παρουσιάσαμε την ταινία Μαρία Κάλλας, επιστολές για αναμνήσεις. Ήταν εδώ και ο σκηνοθέτης Γιάννης Δημολίτσας. Και σήμερα και πάλι στο Ολύμπιον, όπως και χθες, θα προβάλλουμε την εμβληματική ταινία Μαλένα και θα της απονείμουμε τον Χρυσό Αλέξανδρο για το σύνολο της προσφοράς της στον κινηματογράφο. Δέσατε τις κάμερες. Τότε σας παραδίδω τη συνέντευξη στον αγαπητό Γιώργο Κρασακόπουλο.
Thank you, Orestes, and thank you so much for being here. It's an honor, it's a pleasure. Yesterday, while you went on stage to present the film, you said that you have Greece deep in your heart, and I guess from what you can see and from what you saw yesterday night, the feeling is mutual. So I wanted to start by asking how was it making this film in part in Greece, and how was working with Yannis Dimolitsas, the co-director of the movie?
But for me, it was an amazing experience to be part of this project, and the director did an incredible job. And for me, it means so much to be here at this amazing festival, and I thank you, the festival, so much, and I'm so moved because you all know how much I love Greece. I come all the time, actually. And I'm so grateful to this amazing artist, Maria Callas, because I have to say that, as I say all the time, what really moved me to this project is the duality of Maria Callas, because she was a diva, a divinity, a donna's immense talent, and at the same time she was a woman with a simple heart. And in this film, like in the show, we depict more Maria than Callas. And even like in the show, like in the film, what we see is that we see Maria, I mean, all their young part, hopeful and full of excitement, looking for success. And then the maturity, when she was living all the difficulty between her private life and her work, and then the last years of her life where she handled her melancholy with extreme dignity and elegance. And I think we're still here today because she's still inspiring so much. How many actresses played Maria Callas? So many. Fanny Ardant, she did in theater, and she made a movie, amazing movie, and then even here, so Marina Abramovic, no? She did something very strong. And now Angelina Jolie, she's making a movie. And we did this beautiful 3 years of tour around the world. And for me, it was so incredible to be in a Rode Atticus. I had one of the most beautiful moments. And after that, we had an incredible journey around the world. But for me, it was so important to be in Greece because Callas is Greek. So for me, it was so important that the Greek audience accepted that I would play Callas, even though I'm not Greek.
Well, we did, as you see, and you could see when you did the play, the Herodion, as you said. But I was wondering if the reason you went up on stage for the first time, this project started as a play, and it was your first play that you ever did on stage. I was wondering if through Maria Callas's life, you saw some parallels with yours. Of course, your lives are completely different, but there are some things that are in common. There is the aspect of fame, there is the aspect of other people looking at you and somehow trying to define your image. So I was wondering if there were some parallels that you discovered while developing her story.
But as you say, for me in the beginning, I mean, I was scared. I have to say the truth, because it was my first time in theater, and the relation with the public is completely different because it's so direct. There are no filters, but there is something so sincere and artisanal in the process of making a show, and something very strong. You're not protected when you are on stage, because I think the public can feel your soul. And then maybe Tom Wolf, for this project in theater, thought about me because maybe it's my Mediterranean part. And at the same time, Callas, she was born in New York, then she came here to Greece, and then she became a star in Italy, and then she moved to Paris. So in some way she was a foreigner wherever she was, and I can connect to that.
And yeah, like you, she lived in different places, she spoke many languages, she worked in, apart from her singing career, she also did cinema and all that. And she was always scrutinized, however. Her life, her public image was always scrutinized. And I guess at one point the same must apply to you. Do you feel a pressure being always on the spotlight, having to deal with the image other people have of you, and versus to what you think of yourself and how you truly are?
But I'm not always on the light. I'm on the light when I have to promote a movie or a show, but then I like to be in the shadow so much. But through my work, I learned so many things, and when I met this amazing artist, Maria Callas, I thought that she's still inspiring today. She's inspiring today because, not just because she was one of the greatest soprano of all time, but also because she was very courageous. And she had the courage to fight for her freedom. She divorced at the time where divorce was forbidden in Italy, and she had the courage to follow her heart. She sacrificed all her youth for her work, and then when she met Onassis, through him, she discovered her femininity and wanted to live it fully. So that's why we're still here today talking about her. And it's so interesting that actually in this festival you present Mαλένα, that is a film that I've done so many years ago. But some way, even though two different projects, but at the same time, we talk about women that are living in a man's world, in a man's dominated society, and that's very interesting as a subject.
Speaking of that, I remember a quote of yours. You have said once that your most interesting roles are those when you play a woman who tries to survive exactly what you said now in a man's society, and that makes your roles interesting to you. But does it apply to your life, at least when you started working in a? I mean, film is a male-dominated world in a very big extent.
Yes, but I have to say that I was quite lucky in my life in general, and I started very young as a model, and then when I get into the cinema world, I was already an adult woman, because I did my first movie I was 25, and actually when I did Mαλένα I was 37, even though in the film I play a woman that is 27. But that's the beauty of cinema. We can, do so many things. So, and so I was already an adult woman, and this makes a big difference, I think. I was, maybe I knew better how to protect myself. and maybe that just because I didn't have, you know, I give maybe a good example, and even my daughter today, she's an actress and she's a model. And
you are one of the few actresses that candidly speaks about their age, and I find that so refreshing and powerful. Did you ever worry about growing up, and did you, I mean, there's this, you know, this cliche that when you grow older in cinema, you won't find so many roles. Were you ever worried? Well, you proved everybody wrong, but still, I want to hear what you think.
But I don't want to fight with the time, because if I'm going to fight with the time, I'm going to lose. There's nothing we can do. Just we have to say that we when you get older, actually, we are lucky. You know, I wake up in the morning when I feel good, and my kids, now they're older, but from here, all his kids, and my daughters are well. I think that I'm already very lucky. And there is no way to fight. So I take life with the flow. This is the only thing I do. And what makes me feel alive is my family, my friends, my work. And then I know that I do special work, because my work, when you work well, everything is so beautiful and created, and you meet many interesting people, talented people. And at the same time, I like to have a real life, you know, a real life. And actually, more you grow up and more you realize that what is important in life is really your family, your friends, and to give love and receive love. And I think even now, after the pandemic, I think we realize more and more how to have important human relationship is so important for all of us.
But how easy is it to achieve this balance of work and life, especially when you work at such a high level in your profession?
I don't make a plan, because actually it's important to when things come to you and you really don't organize anything, and you can't organize a career around a table. It's always between what happened to you and what you decide to do. So it's a synergy. And then I work sometimes with very young directors, like this project, and sometimes directors that have more experience. But you know, for me, when I'm in front of the camera, if I play in a small film or a film with a big budget movie, it really doesn't change much. My work in front of the camera is the same. So in this project, I give the same energy that I put in another big project, just because when I feel that, you know, there is a beautiful passion and everybody are committed in the project, I just believe in the project. And also you need, you know, young energy, people that they have talent, and maybe they also need you to, through you, they have the possibility that their project find the light.
You have been working in cinema for so many years that you witnessed so many changes happening from, let's say, the rise of the platforms to the Me Too movement and so many other things. What would you say were the biggest change that you witnessed, especially when it comes to women's roles, for instance?
But I've been working in TV series like Mozart in the Jungle or Call My Agent, and I keep doing movies. So actually, I don't make any program. It just things come to me, and when something's interesting, and I feel that that's the project that gives me the possibility, you know, to learn. Not just as an actress, but also as a person. What is interesting for me is that I had the chance to work with different directors from different countries, because I come from Italy, and during the 40s, 50s, you could have an international career through Italian movies, no? All the actresses, all the actresses we know, like Silvana Mangano, Cinello Brigida, Sofia Loren, Anna Magnani, Monica Vitti, Giulietta Masina, they would become international around the world through Italian movies. And now this is more complicated. So the things that started in Italy, but then I went to Paris, and then, and now I have this situation that I didn't decide it just happened, that I had the possibility to work with many directors from different countries, and this for me was so interesting, because when you get in touch with different cultures, you learn so much. It's a human experience, not just an experience as an actress.
Do you find that you, I don't know, take some roles because you feel like you have to? I mean, for instance, you have played in huge blockbusters and you played in tiny, small films. So is that a career path, or is it just what you talked about earlier, the people you are working with, the passion that you find in these projects? And if you prefer one or the other, do you prefer like working in bigger films or in more intimate settings?
No, for me, as I say, it doesn't matter. Just I need to feel alive, Small movie, big budget movie. For me, it's a matter of, sensations. Like when I was in the Rode Atticus, with the moon, this incredible theater, and this incredible orchestra directed by the maestro George Petru, and and I knew that I had to be good, and I was so inspired, and the audience was so warm, and I felt so much love and respect. It's all I feel every time I come here in Greece. So I really thank so much this amazing country.
Before I open the discussion to the audience to ask questions, you mentioned Call My Agent, and there in this episode you play a version of yourself. And also you have appeared in an episode of Twin Peaks, where the character that David Lynch is playing, he's dreaming of you, and he's like saying at one point in his intonation and his voice, I had another dream of Mόνικα Μπελούτσι, and then you appear. And this, to me, both these roles, I can sense a sense of humor behind it, and the idea that you sometimes do not take yourself as seriously as we all think that an actress of your caliber might. So is humor and not taking yourself too seriously something that you do sometimes?
I think that the more you get older, the more you get a distance, and we all know the difference between the reality and the image. When I wake up in the morning, I don't have a high heel. Maybe I don't have makeup, and just I'm here, and I'm a woman who knows how to make a show, and here I am.
So, if we have any questions from the audience.
Να δώσουμε λίγο εδώ πρώτα. Πρώτα θα περιμένετε το μικρόφωνο, παρακαλώ.
Hello, it's a great pleasure having you here in this beautiful festival. I would like to address a couple of questions. The first one is, in which way you approach each one of all these different roles that you tried and you impersonate the past decades. Sometimes you have been to action dramas, sometimes to dramas, comedies, or even dramamentaries like this one, like the one of Callas. Which is your personal way of approaching these roles? And secondly, love is so important about Maria Callas. It's very unique the way she approaches love through melancholy. How much you feel love is important for her in the way you are impersonating the role of Maria Callas and for you as an experience. Thank you so much.
So how I approach a role, I think each actor has his own way to prepare a character. There is a technical part when you read a character to see how she dress, how she walk, what the way she behave. Then there is another part, maybe is the most interesting, and is the part that you don't know why you choose this part. And sometimes you don't know what you're gonna do 2 seconds before you have to start to work. And for me, this is the most interesting part. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I know that I'm dressed that way, my hair, my shoes, physically I'm ready, but then what I'm going to do really, I know just 2 seconds before. And this is for me the most interesting part. And about Maria Callas, about the love, I mean, that's why she touched me so much, because as I say all the time, she died of sadness, she died of a broken heart. And to die for love, it means that your heart is very sincere. And that's why I respect her so much, not just because she was an incredible artist, but she's a sincere, beautiful human being. And that's why she touched me so profoundly, because I saw behind the artist, behind the star. And when I read the letters and the memoirs, they were so full of sensibility, vulnerability, and I had really the feeling that I could touch her soul. And many says that the worst wound of her life was Onassis, but as we say all the time, maybe it was that she didn't have a family, sorry, she didn't have children, and she said this in many interviews, because often she spoke of her difficult relationship with her mother and her sister. So she always suffered for love. So even though she had the love of the public, she didn't have the love in her intimacy. And what we show in the movie actually is her loneliness. And that's why we went to shoot in her apartment in Paris, in Avenue Georges Mandel. And we really, in the film, we show how lonely she was. And she felt abandoned. And actually what we bring in the stage is what she was living. All the private part that really nobody knows.
Another question. Let's go here, please.
Hello. Maria Callas suffered from love, you said. How many times you suffered from love? How was it? And how was it?
I'm a woman, so that's why I can understand other women. And actually we say their actresses are possessed by other souls. Maybe because when you're an actor, you need to have compassion and respect for the role that you choose to play. As Isabelle Huppert, she said that in every actress there are many princes that are sleeping, and each time you play a character, one of those princes wakes up. And I love this expression. And you know, when I play Mαλένα, when I play Maria Callas, maybe, you know, my princess, they wake up.
Another question, please. Let's go here. Who was first?
Hello. You mentioned before that you have worked in a man-dominated world. Nowadays we see many films directed by women which are excellent. Would you like to be a part of this new genre? Would you like to direct a film yourself?
No. I have too much respect for this work to direct a movie by myself. Because also I think I have to learn more as an actress. And I love my work so much. But yes, I've been working with few women actually, and it's so interesting because women, they can, you know, relate to each other, sometimes just look at each other. So sometimes it goes faster. And I just finished a movie with Marjan Satrapi, and she's an Iranian director, and she lives in Paris, and I really love to work with her. And sometimes women don't know how to describe other women in another way, you know? Yeah. I'm thinking a movie that I saw this year with Emma Thompson. In French was Mes Rendez-vous avec Léo, but it was
Was the English title? Yes.
The film was so interesting and very strong.
The one where she meets a rent boy and they
Yeah.
make this relationship. But you mentioned Marjan Satrapi. She was here a few years back, and could you say? Yes, with
Persepolis.
Glams.
Okay.
Yes. Could you say a few words about the film you made together?
Oh, we can say now because it's too early, but it's like a dark comedy. So, and because she has this, she's so picky, so intelligent, and she knows what she wants. At the same time, she gives you the freedom to express yourself and to find your own way to describe the character. So I I loved so much to work with her. And she's an amazing woman, an amazing artist, and even Persepolis was such a beautiful project.
It's wonderful.
We have a question here. Thank you so much for being here this morning. You mentioned that movie with Emma Thompson, I think it's Good Luck, Leo.
Yeah, Good Luck, Leo.
And I was thinking about it because I was speaking to an amazing, actually Greek actress who's 65 right now. And we were talking if the whole landscape of acting is changing. Because usually, especially in the American cinema, of course, but at the European cinema as well, when a woman gets older, she has less and less to choose from. And usually she's seen as a mother, as a teacher, as something like that. But we need to see older women being alive and sexy and lovers and full human beings. Do you think that the landscape is changing?
I think so. Absolutely. Things are changing, and in the past, when you were 40, even though you were talented and still, you know, beautiful, and it was impossible to work. And things are completely changing today. And it's going to take time because the evolution is a process, it's going to be a long process. But when I live in Paris and I see all those actresses like Fanny Ardant, Isabelle Huppert, Nathalie Baye, Cheryl Rampling, and they'll all have the possibilities to have a beautiful career. And so just when we see that, we can see that things are changing. So I want to be really positive also because we are changing as a women. So we have another place in society, so we are more respected, and maybe we respect ourselves much more, and also we are less scared, and now we speak out loud, and this makes a big difference.
Let's have another question. We'll start here.
Thank you very much to come to the Thessaloniki. I'm from Cyprus. I will ask when you're comparing the time of the cinema as an acting or as a condition of the cinema, you have some comparing with your acting in, for example, in the past century and with this century. And the second one, if you have some kind of secret power of your hand, you wish to start, when you wish to start to cinema in this process of the whole history of cinema. Thank you.
But I think things are changing, and today we have so many ways to create the image. Before we had just cinema, and now we have TV, we have, I mean, I see my kids, they see films sometimes in the telephone. For us was, you know, we are in another era, I think, but sometimes instead of fighting, we have to try to understand. Even their brain, kids are changing so much, because sometimes I see my little one, she study and at the same time she's writing, and she watch a film at the same time, and she listens something else. I say, can you explain to me how you, yeah. It's like their brain is changing. I mean, so sometimes we are worried, but maybe we should worry for ourselves, because we are getting older and they are just doing things that, you know, they're just, the evolution is going crazy. So, and maybe it's a world that sometimes we don't understand anymore, you know? And so this is about the changing. And then, I mean, my way to play, if I see Mαλένα and if I see this film about colors, and I see the last film I did with Marjan Sakarapi, actually, you know, maybe I became more experienced, and maybe technically I'm more settled, but I think my thing inside, my passion inside, what I feel when I approach a character is completely the same. The same thing that moved me today is the same thing that moved me when I started and I wanted to be in this world. And when I'm the same person that when I was 15 and I was buying books of, you know, pictures of Helmut Newton, or, you know, and when I wanted to do my first movie, and I was young and I was dreaming about, you know, the world of cinema, and I was watching 3 films a day, because, I mean, I loved everything about image and films, and so I have the same passion, actually.
That's absolutely wonderful to hear, and it shows in your roles and your career so far.
Let's have another question. Here, please.
Hello. With the rise of streaming platforms and the changing landscape of film distribution, how do you see the future of cinema evolving?
Oh, there was a moment a few years ago where we were all scared that maybe cinema was over. But now, no anymore. And sometimes I see films in Netflix, like the film about Marilyn Monroe. I loved it. Or Roman Gabra's movie. I mean, there are movies that are so beautiful and so strong when you see them. There's a shame that you don't see them in cinemas, actually. So, and cinema is still cinema. It's still dreamy when you are, you know, in a black room and the image comes up, there is something still incredible, like, you know, like Godard used to say, that you look cinema, you watch cinema like that, with your face up, like if you're dreaming something that is higher than you. And I still believe in that, and I think that this won't change.
Let's take a couple of more questions. There, please.
Hello, it's always very nice to see you, especially in person. Two questions from me. Do you think that Maria Callas, first of all, was a classical, timeless figure, and in a way very tragical, in an ancient Greek way, tragical? So, do you think that in each decade after her death, if you played her each decade after her death, let's say, if you could do that, would you approach the role in the same way, or does the social political content plays any role? I mean, she's a woman, so we approach Callas as a classical figure, or does it change in between what we're living now or before as women or as a society? This is my first question. My second one is...
Nora, let's have one question from journalist, please.
Okay, about her daughter, if she gave her any advice, but okay.
Please, first one.
My daughter, she gave me advice. No, about Maria Callas, what I can say, like we said before, is that she's still a strong figure and she's still inspiring, and she was such a special woman, and we're still here talking about her. And we have to say that when we say that she had a tragic life, maybe we should say that she led a brave life. And people used to go to listen Callas, but also to see Callas. It wasn't just the artist, it was also the woman. And that's why this won't change. And maybe in 10 years, another actress is going to be here to talk about Maria Callas. Because I think that never she's going to die.
Let's take one more question. Here we go. Μαλένα. Εδώ, το μικρόφωνο παρακαλώ. Εδώ, κυρία Πορτοκαλί.
Hello. I changed the climate. Will you tell us some things about your experience in Beetlejuice too?
I know. This is too early. No, I can say.
Nothing about the...
I can say. I can say.
Thank you. So, another question. How do you define beauty?
How? What I said before, actually, it's, I think you nourish your person from inside, actually. And I think that your eyes reflects what you feel. And for me, love is everything. Is love about, for my family, for the people that are around me and are part of my life, for my work. I think that it's all about passion in life. And this is what I say to my kids, actually. What is important is to find your own passion, what makes you feel alive. I think this is the secret of happiness, actually.
And thank you very much for sharing this secret with us. I tend to agree with you. And thank you for sharing everything you did today. It was really a pleasure to have you here. And I remind you that tonight we have the screening of Mαλένα by Τζουζέπε Τορνατόρε, an amazing film and an amazing performance. And the festival will bestow the Golden Alexander to you for your wonderful and illustrious career. Thank you very, very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
λάθος το μικρόφωνο. Μπράβο, αλλά βέβαια εσύ μου παρεσυντράει. Εντάξει.
Παρακαλώ να λήξει το
το 10 να το κάνει off. Το κανάλι 10 στη Γιαμάχα να το κάνει. Μόλις το κάνει, θα μου πεις. Μην το κλείσει.